Guys, welcome to another episode of The Pulse. And Chris Kattan, you'll immediately recognize the face, actor, comedian, and some of your favorite hits from over the years, SNL.
Yes,
Welcome to The
you.
Pulse. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you, Bill. Good to see you.
So how did this get started? You have an interesting background, parents and the whole nine.
Yeah, you want me to start from my parents?
They're part of the story, then
Like
we can
birth?
start
You want
there.
me to start from birth?
So I was born in the hospital.
Yes, I had parents like most people, and they got divorced when I was 2. And my mom met my stepdad, and they moved to a place called Mount Baldy, California, which was a national forest. So they were the custodians, and my dad lived in Sherman Oaks, California. And he became one of the founders of the Groundlings. And everybody knows the Groundlings, the improv group on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. The highly acclaimed group of improv and the character work. And I would live weekdays in Mount Baldy, which was in the National Forest. And there, my mom and stepdad studied Zen Buddhism. And on the weekends, I go see my dad, and he would perform at the Groundlings. So it was 2 different lives that were completely different than one another. I always wanted to be a Groundling because I used to see my dad perform at the Groundlings and do character work. And I was so impressed, by his work and his creativity, and his improv that I was just blown away. And it was the biggest influence of my life. So without my dad, I wouldn't have gone in the direction that I did go. And then I was introduced to Saturday Night Live. And I started watching with the group the Eddie Murphy time.
Yeah.
And that was my hero. Eddie Murphy was a legend, so he still is. And that's what influenced me to get on SNL. I moved to my dad's in L.A., joined the Groundlings, took the classes, as you have to take in order to be a Groundling, if you even make it that far. Mm-hmm. And became a Groundling, and that's where I met people like in my class were Jennifer Coolidge and Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry. And we all auditioned for SNL, and that's how we got on SNL, basically.
You saw it from an early age, and that was your focus. You just followed that course.
Yeah, I was about 6 years old.
You did improv, grow with it, and you're like, you know what? I should be on SNL.
I was really good at character work more than improv. I mean, I did improv, and I loved it. But I was really keen on creating characters and creating different characters. So I had a few characters before I joined the Saturday Night Live. And so I was ready to go with a couple characters. And they all made it on the show. So I rode that wave for a while. I did, the Roxbury guys.
Yeah.
With Will at the Groundlings. I did a character called Mr. Peepers.
So you actually brought them with you. So those weren't,
yeah.
Like you brought it to them. They didn't help you create those.
Correct. Yeah, I was at the Groundlings when I created those characters.
How did getting SNL kind of change things? Like, that's a huge step.
Well, it changed not just my life by being on the show, a dream come true, but I've never been to New York before. So I joined not mid-season or the beginning of the season like everybody else. I joined like 6 weeks prior to the end of the season. So that was a different time to join. And there was more pressure on me to create because of that. I didn't grow into the cast and mold with the writers just yet. So I had my characters to rely on. And the first character I did this character at the Groundlings, was named Sewell Forrester. And he was a double talk guy. He spoke in gibberish. Mm-hmm. He was a substitute teacher, and he would go, "Good afternoon, I'm Samara. I'm going to be your substitute teacher. Miss Asa. Some of you remember me in photography. What are next? Don't see the red eyes and you." We did the read-through like everybody else that week, and it didn't get a lot of laughs, only because I think I was new. Mm-hmm. And people were like, "What's he doing here? Why is he here at this time?" But Lauren trusted it, and he gave me my shot. And I got a lot of laughs when I did it for dress rehearsal. The audience loved it. So, and it became one of my reoccurring characters. It made it the first sketch of the night. So my first sketch that I introduced was the first sketch of the night, which is very rare.
How does doing something like that actually change your life? You can't walk down the street.
Well, that took a while until people recognized me. I mean, New York is such a great place. They like yell out, "Hey, Chris!" You know, I got "Hey, Chris." They knew my real name.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me to do the character sometimes on the street. You know, they go, "Hey, la, 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 la." Just like the gibberish guy would do.
Yeah.
But it didn't really catch on. I mean, I didn't really get the attention until I introduced the Roxbury guys, which I did at the Groundlings as well with Will. And those were the head bopping guys, of course.
Night at
And
the Roxbury.
that's when I got the most attention. People on the street in New York would bop their heads and in unison with their friends. And that was the first sign of like, wow, I guess I really made an effect. I guess people are watching and these characters are working, you know. When I watched SNL, I was transfixed by, I was in awe of Mike Myers and his work because he created so many different characters and they were so catchy and they had their own different nuances and different isms and their slogans that they had, you know, like I'm as happy as a little girl and, you know, more butter and all those things. And I thought that was part of the trick of having a character, having something to latch on to was a wise thing to do. So I try to make my characters have something memorable about them. So they weren't just characters, but they had something something quotable.
Getting on SNL was your goal. Once you got there, was it everything you thought it was going to be? Like you were already a fan of the show.
When I first got on, I was left to work a lot alone most of the time because everybody was already blended in because it was like, you know, 6 weeks left to the end of the season. So I didn't really get the opportunity just yet to work with the writers until the next season, and that's when I bonded. And it's always much better. It's a lot more fun to work with other people. I mean, that's what SNL's about, is camaraderie and companionship and chemistry. I didn't realize how important chemistry was. But I had worked with Will Ferrell already at the Groundlings, so we had a pocket full of characters all ready to go. So we did those on the show a lot, too. I knew Molly a little bit, and Sherry I had worked with as well, Sherry O'Terry. So we had some characters to introduce that on the show that we did at the Groundlings prior.
And I don't think most people know that. I think that people think you kind of get there, you're funny, you know, you can do these different things, and they shape it. And in your case, you actually brought it to the table.
When you audition for SNL, you are asked to do 2 or 3, I think it's 3 original characters that you have created. So whether or not you use them later in the show, when you're on the show, if you get the show, you are asked to do them in the audition. So I did Sewell Forrester, the gibberish guy. I did Mr. Peepers. And I did a guy just humping a couch. So I didn't do the Roxbury guys. I didn't do Mango. Mango came years later.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a kernel of an idea that was based on my dog, Winnie. She was a Dalmatian, and she would like if she turned away from me, her butt was facing me, and she would turn around and give me like a come hither look. And out of that, I thought of, I don't know why, but I thought of a person. And I thought of a stripper named Mango that was born in Miami. And
From the
everyone
dog.
fell in love with Mango, whether you're a woman or a man. Like what?
From the dog. You get the come hither look from the dog.
Yeah, from the dog.
The stripper character.
All this came for the dog. So I have my dog to thank.
Coming up next, he's known mostly for his characters, but he does some pretty cool impersonations as well.
I mean, I did David Lee Roth, which was an obscure impression. I would just do zippity bop, diddy bop.
Okay.
I ain't got nobody.
So then you're doing movies and TV shows and Dancing with the Stars. It's a whole nother story. And you just continue to do those things. Was any of that surprising to you, that you got what you wanted and wow, look at all
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it was like, oh my God, already they're allowing me to be on the show, and they like the characters. Lorne Michaels, the head of it all, the king, he called and asked if I was interested in doing a Roxbury movie. And then I called Will, who's my best friend at the time, and I said, oh my God, did you get a call too? And we're like, these characters, they don't talk. How can we do a movie? So we had to create voices for the characters in order to make an hour and a half film. But Paramount, who he had a deal with at the time, he wanted to do a Roxbury Guys movie with Amy Heckerling, who did Clueless, who was a producer. And so we came up with the concept, and the studio loved it.
Over the years, you've created characters, but you also have done impersonations. I'm always curious, comedians, when that's one of your talent, how people respond when they see themselves in you.
Well, I never got a lot of response. I mean, I did David Lee Roth, which was an obscure impression. I would just do zippity bop, diddy bop.
Okay.
I ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody. And never got a response from him. Who I expected to get a response from was Hadaway, who wrote the song "What Is Love, Baby Don't Hurt Me."
Yeah.
Because we played that song every time we did the sketch, but we never got a thank you letter, or like we just revived that song. You're getting all the money.
Yeah, you paid a lot of bills for them by bringing that song back out.
Hadaway did very well. I did see him like 2 years ago at a party, and he was very, very nice. And he didn't thank me, but that's okay. Not like I was looking for thanks, but he was very kind. And but you couldn't help but realize that this is the guy that wrote this song that we bopped our heads to. It became an anthem, really.
I mentioned casually Dancing with the Stars, and later on you did a memoir. You started kind of sharing behind the scenes stuff. Very matter of fact, Dancing with the Stars was talking about you were a little stiff while you were dancing, and you casually kind of revealed that you broke your neck on Saturday Night Live.
Yes, I did. I broke my neck, and but it's fine now. I healed. I had my fusions. But it did affect me. It did affect my life and affect work, my capability of working as an actor. And
how do you break your neck on Saturday Night Live?
I went backwards on a chair during a Golden Girls sketch. I played one of the Golden Girls, and I was simulating eating a pie and choking on it, and I went backwards and broke my neck. And I had this like atrophy pain. And Lorne was very kind, and he fixed me up with his doctor, and they said, you need to have surgery as soon as possible. But I didn't want to be put on the bleachers, so to speak. I wanted to be part of the show. So I kind of didn't tell anyone really about it, except for those that needed to know, like the producers and Lorne and some friends and family members. But I didn't get the surgery until the end of the season.
That's crazy.
It was it was painful. It wasn't immediate pain, but it grew into pain later.
That's
but
crazy.
I had no idea that I broke my neck. It didn't feel like it.
It's like the athletes playing hurt. You're like, I got to finish out the season. I got to go out there for my teammates. I want to keep going. Can't lose my spot.
I didn't want to be like put off to the side and not able to perform. That would like kill me not to perform.
Next on The Pulse, he's on tour in a city near you, and you just might end up part of the show.
I especially like doing crowd work.
Okay.
That's my favorite thing to do. So I get to interact with the crowd because they love it, and I love it too.
So you're on tour. What's the tour look like?
I especially like doing crowd work.
Okay.
That's my favorite thing to do. So I get to interact with the crowd because they love it, and I love it too because you that's where my improv background kicks in. What I learned at the Groundlings. So, that's the funnest part for me. I do have, a set, as they say, and I talk a lot about SNL, and because that's what the audience wants to hear. They want to hear about SNL. They come to the show, and they recognize me mostly from SNL. There are films and TV things, but it's mostly SNL that they recognize you from. So they want to hear about those stories. They want to hear about, more cowbell. They want to hear about, the mango and stories behind it.
Do you still love doing the touring?
Yeah, I do. I really do. It's really good to stretch your humor and be put on the spot. And I was a little shy of it. In sketch, you're usually on stage with someone else. Plus, you have cue cards. So even though you've written it and you memorize most of it, it still feels safe to be on stage with another person. Plus the chemistry is with that person, and then you get the drive from the audience, and it's just gold. But I miss doing that. I miss that the most.
Coming up, yes, we're living in a social media era, but he explains why he definitely prefers the live shows.
But a lot of my characters rely on the energy that I get from the audience. So if you're online and you're doing YouTube and stuff like that, you're not getting any energy, any feedback.
What's next? Is something else coming up, something we should look for, continuing with the tour, or you're just at the point where you're just having fun doing whatever you're doing?
No, I'm having fun. I mean, you got to have fun doing whatever I'm doing. But I have written a script with my partner. It is a vehicle for me and for a few other people. It's a comedy. And it's getting a lot of buzz, so we're excited about that. I do realize that in this business and I learned it early on, that it really is up to you in many ways. A lot of the work has to come from you. Nobody's going to go up to you and give you a role of a lifetime. I used what I have and put that into the script. It's easier that way, as a performer and a writer. But I wouldn't have learned how to write had it not been for the Groundlings.
Okay.
They really teach you how to write, and they teach you how to write well, because that's the backbone for comedy, I believe, writing.
Has it changed? I'm curious, because social media and do-it-yourself and YouTube and all of these different things are so prominent now that you can do it yourself.
Yeah, but a lot of my characters rely on the energy that I get from the audience. So if you're online and you're doing YouTube and stuff like that, you're not getting any energy, any feedback like you would have been getting when you were in the Groundlings.
Thank you for spending time with us.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of The Pulse with comedian, actor, SNL alum, Chris Kattan, hearing some of the cool stories, some of the surprising stories, his experiences. Always a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. You can hear and see the entire unedited version of this interview, all places where podcasts are available. Just go check out the Pulse with Bill Anderson podcast. You can download the Fox Local app, so all of our previous episodes right there at your fingertips on demand. And you can follow me on social media at Bill A. Fox29. I always love hearing from you. And I leave you today, as I always do, reminding you, whenever you can, use your voice for good. It's not that complicated. And have a good one.